Kia ora, Lara here, and I'm coming to you with my final layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict design team for the end of February. So there'll be a whole new month coming up soon. So you can find me on social media under Scrappykea. So that's Instagram, YouTube, and on Facebook. And I'm going to be using the Floral Cluster 6 cut file from Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I've already cut this out from some white daisy cardstock, and you can see that to the left of my photos there. So the photo that I am documenting is one of my daughter holding some flowers that we sent her for her 20th birthday. Basically it was a thank you message and saying that we got the right ones for her. We weren't able to spend the day with her, but my oldest daughter, we sent her up to hang out with her for the day, or for the weekend actually, so I think they had a pretty good time together and she enjoyed her flowers, so that's what I'm documenting here today. So I'm using the gorgeous Chantilly collection from Close to My Heart. Now this is a Bring Back Your Pack collection. It has beautiful soft colours, gorgeous elements, so I can see it being brilliant for little girl type layouts, but I'm using it for my middle daughter, who is my youngest daughter, but she'll always be one of my little girls, so just using these beautiful colours to document her. So I have matted the photo with those papers and now I'm sort of going through the sticker sheet and pulling out stickers that I think will work. I do change some of these stickers later, so that flower I decided was just a little bit too bold, or it brought in a whole other colour that isn't really part of the photo or the layout, and it was just too dominating, but for now it's there, and luckily I hadn't stuck it down too hard. So there's some cute stickers in this collection as well that I was able to pull out from. The colours that go with this are flamingo, green apple, lagoon, lemonade, papaya, sapphire, scarlet and white daisy, so you can tell from just those descriptions that they're quite beautiful. So I'm using a few different shimmer brushes here, and I'm just, where I start I do a big splot, but I know that that's where the photo's going, and so then I can just do some smaller splatters around it, and I'm just using the heat gun to dry them off, especially those big splatters that just take that little bit longer to dry. So the cut file's going to sit on here, and I'm going to do something that I've been doing a little bit lately, and it's one of my new favourite techniques with cut files, is water painting inside the cut file. So instead of backing it, I'm just going to bring out my watercolour paints and I'm going to do that inside it. So I'm just using normal paint brushes here, grabbed a few different sizes and just starting to colour in side the floral. So I do this for a bit, so if you're not interested in seeing this come about, you might want to flick along to the head in the video just to skip past it, but some people might just like to see the layering of the colours. So I start with this lighter pink inside each of the flower shapes, and then I go through and I add it with less water, and then I use the darker pink to bring up some of the darker parts of it, just to give it a little bit more dimension so that it feels a little bit more alive. What techniques do you enjoy doing when you're backing a cut file, and when was the last time you brought out your watercolour paints? So yeah, I've been enjoying them lately to the point where I'm like, oh, maybe I need to top up my watercolours just in case they run out, as if they ever would. But it's one of those things, if you use something and the more you use it in lots of different ways, the more you recognise that its value or its use. So challenge you to get some of the materials out that you perhaps haven't been using lately, and check out some different videos for some different ideas. The Confessions of a Paper Addict design team members have some great videos, lots of different ways to back cut files. I've seen this month some gorgeous vellum with sequins, big bold colours with black and white photos, lots of backing and lots of detail bits, popped out parts, all sorts of things, so definitely worth watching. In one of my videos earlier this month, I had a person say, where do you get the ideas from for doing the mixed media, and how do you know the techniques? And I think it's from watching videos and seeing layouts you like, and then sort of going into how did they do that, and giving it a go. So totally recommend exploring it, even if you just get some scrap pieces and just play around with some of the mixed medias. and some of the different tools and things that you can play with. You might surprise yourself and find some hidden gems in the stash you've already got. And you might find some things that you decide, actually, I really need that because it does help to finish stuff off. And I really like that effect. So it's about doing what you like, but also experimenting and giving things a go. And you might well find, like I have with painting, water painting in these backgrounds, that it's something that you really like and you love the effect of and the process of doing it. For me, I think it's about seeing this gorgeous colour palette of watercolours and picking and choosing from those what I think might work, and being genuinely surprised when it does work, and then other times having to sort of go over things with more water or something else just so that it's not quite as bold as it sort of appears to be to start with. So yeah, get out the watercolours, give them a go, and get out all the other stuff as well and give that a go too, and watch some videos, check out some tutorials, scrapbook alongside other people and just watch and see what they do and ask them about it. People are often more than happy to share what they've done, and then give it a go. The best way you can learn about the properties of materials and how to use them is to get in and give it a go, and just be prepared to get messy, and just put aside time to play rather than it having to be about the finished product all the time. So pulling out some different greens for all these leaves after playing with the pretty pink florals to kind of match those in the photograph. So I've got the photo up there just to the left, so I can just sort of keep an eye on what I'm doing and how that's working. It was really hard to get into these little pieces up to the top left there, you can see, but they just add a nice little gentle touch the way it all turns out in the end. So you'll see that I have added some of the colour to the little parts in the lid, and then I've added extra water. That just makes the colour a little bit lighter. So if you're using watercolours and you don't want the huge intensity of colour, the more water you add, the lighter the colour will be. So you can start with lots of water in there and then add more colour, and then so you can build it up the different colours that way. I use different shades of the colours that are on this colour palette, but you can add water to do the shading and to lift it up a little bit more. Some people also wet their background first and then add the colour, and it adds the really nice sort of flowy, almost bubbly kind of look on the watercolours. So even when I talked about the scrapbooking videos and other scrapbookers, actually look up some watercolour painting tips and tricks and see what they've got to say about some of these techniques and ideas, and then use it in your scrapbooking or other crafting. So I've also been using some of this watercolour stuff in my Bible journaling, which I've really been enjoying, and I think it was actually from there that I've then transferred it into my scrapbooking. So don't be afraid to use what you see as sort of parts of another art form in your scrapbooking and creating in that way. So loving that sort of emerald green, so just going over some of those bits to lift them out, and quite happy with how that's looking. It's just a really nice, soft, beautiful background, using that gorgeous cut file as my outline. And so this is when I look at this sticker, I think, and think, actually it's not quite right, what else could I put in here? And I love that little umbrella, even though it's got nothing to do with the layout. The colours are just perfect with it. They team up nicely with the florals that I've painted from that cut file, and they just work beautifully. So you'll see there that I pulled that sticker sheet over to see if that beautiful will work, and it did. So I was quite happy about that. That was quite a perfect arrangement. So again, sort of looking at that flower and thinking, does it work, does it not? And I decided to be brave and just use the umbrella, even though it's got not much to do with the page at all, but the colours are beautiful. And it's got that nice floral in it, so I decided just to use it anyway. So I'm using the thin, the 0.3 pen here just to add my journaling onto the sticker that was also part of that sticker sheet. And I'm trying to use sort of a handwriting font when I journal on this one, because it just sort of fits the prettiness or the softness of this layout. Hey, if you've subscribed recently, thank you so much. If you've been a subscriber for a while, thanks heaps. If you're not, I'd love you to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and to subscribe so that you see more of what I am creating. Thanks for watching.